I'm gonna see if you can guess what it is I'm gonna make. And I'm gonna bet money that you can. So first of all, I got this lovely blue shirt. I got this lovely red shirt. And I got this yellow piece of fabric that I'm going to turn into a skirt. So who am I gonna be? No, who is that? No, anyway, no. Those answers are all wrong. It's Snow White. Snow White is the correct answer. Wow. Hi. This is not the video I had planned, but I was supposed to work on that project today, and instead I signed up for something that requires a different project. So we're gonna do that. It's interesting timing that I need this Snow White costume because Disney was supposed to do a live action Snow White, and as of what I read today, they might not be doing that. They're getting a little bit of backlash, and maybe it's just not a good idea to do every fairy tale ever in time. Some of them are problematic. Actually, you know what? If you look up the original fairy tales, they are all problematic. But I digress. I volunteered to be in a play, and I am going to play Snow White. It is not Snow White, it is not Shrek. It is a different play written by a local author. Support community theater, support your local authors, support your local artists. Just support people. Anyway, what we need to do is we need to turn this into a top of a dress, and what I'm going to do is kind of tuck these sleeves back because there isn't really like a sleeve to take off. And I'm going to take these, I gotta add more fabric to them, and we're gonna like rouge them up into like puffy cap sleeves. Just red, we're not gonna try and do the blue with the red showing through. I think the red will get the point across. And then we're just going to make a regular old circle skirt out of this fabric. And hopefully this is something that we can get done like this week. In order to make my dress poofy, we're gonna put it over top of this dress, which I had gotten as one of the candidates for my making a Renaissance gown out of a prom dress. And it actually works with that dress. Let me show you. Kind of like that, but you know, laced. Just imagine it's laced. But see, I'm gonna wear this at a different point in the same play, and it should make costume changes really easy. And I'm gonna do the Snow White costume over top of this one, so I can use the petticoat, and so that it gives the sleeves a little bit more poof, because I don't know how much poof I can really get out of chiffon. One of my pet peeves about thrift stores is that they use staples to put their tags on. Almost all of them that I've been to do that, and it's a pain. I get that it's cost effective for them, but a lot of times it ruins the merchandise, and it's just hard to get out without ruining it. Okay, now I get to do some draping on me because my dress form. This should be a little bit easier than last time because it's already together, and I kept the top together, mostly until I know where to cut it. It's already got dog hair on it. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool already. I want to model it after the dress underneath it. Just kind of mark out, I guess with pins, because chalk isn't going to show up on this where everything is. Go from there. So let me... Okay, so we have our bodice marked where we need it to be. Let's first measure the sleeves. Okay, so we're going to mark for 2 inches to give seam allowance and go from there. What's the best course of action here, do you think? Yeah? I don't know, you didn't even know that it was Snow White, and it was like classic Snow White colors. I don't know if I can trust you on anything now. Okay, so I have this laid flat. This is where I want the bodice to come down to. I don't want it to go lower than that, so I need to make sure I go a little bit higher for the seam allowance. Okay, now these were good, so we want it to go up to them, and should I just eyeball it? That seems like a dangerous option. I guess eyeballing it worked. Okay. I'm gonna seam rip this bias tape here so that I can reuse it. It's boring for you editing me. Something they don't warn you about with sewing is it's really hard on your back. It is really hard on your back. This is the point of the night where I don't want to change all my tripods and everything every time I need to get up and do something, so that's what it looks like. I'm happy with it. I'm not sure. Can't really see what the back looks like. Hang on. We don't have a lot of time to mess around, so I need to just make decisions and just go with them. Wow, I'm white. I'm Snow White. What did Snow White say when she dropped off her film to be developed? While this has not yet frayed, I should put the bias tape on. Obviously, this fabric frays really easily, and we don't want to lose any. If you're new to sewing and you have no idea what I mean by bias tape, it's used around collars most frequently. It does have other purposes. It's used anywhere there might be a hem, and it's used so that it allows for curve, because it's fabric that was literally cut on the bias. So most woven fabric doesn't have stretch, but if you pull it diagonally, you'll see that it has a little bit. So what bias tape is that diagonal is called the bias. It uses that. It's just basically fabric that was cut on the bias so that it has a little bit of stretch so that it can curve comfortably for your collars, and it's already starting to fray, so we need to stop talking, start pinning. Okay. When you sit there and give a nice little talk about why you're changing your needle and what needle you're using, and then the camera isn't going. Anyway, I changed my needle. Editing me, would you just put a brief description somewhere here on the screen? I'll wait. Good? Okay. My boyfriend is downstairs on the treadmill and he's running. It makes the whole house shake. So that's why this is shaking, and my camera's shaking, and... Okay, well, anyway. So now that we have the one side done, we can fold it over, and we'll top stitch it the other way. So let's see how I did. Yes, camera, I do want you to focus on my face. Yeah, I think that's right? I like that it's a little higher than the dress underneath, so I don't have to worry about it not covering it. Let's do the invisible zipper before we worry about the sleeves so that I can make sure I have like a good spot. The first thing you should know about invisible zippers is I hate them. Not because they're hard to sew, they aren't really any more difficult than a regular zipper, but because they are made to be invisible, and so they are smaller and of poorer quality than a regular zipper. And I always end up with an invisible zipper that quits on me. So I think this is long enough now. The way it works is it'll fold over that way so that the zipper is, well, invisible. All zippers, not just invisible zippers, will come with instructions right in there. Oh my goodness, that's gotta be the fastest I've ever found anything I didn't know where it was. So this is your zipper foot for your machine. Or this is my zipper foot for my machine. I don't know where yours is, but it's really easy to change on mine. There's this little thing back here, drops the foot, and then you want to put it on this side or this side, depending on which side of the zipper you're putting on. Putting on this side. So we want it right there. And the point of the zipper foot, if you haven't figured it out, is so that you can get as close to the zipper when you're sewing as possible. It has been 2 days since I last filmed. I have made not a lot of progress, and here we are, back in the sewing room. Well, this is where we're at. I had to ask my boyfriend for help so that I could put this on myself, so that I could put darts in the back, which I have done. They're there. I need to do something about the bias tape on this side so that it isn't there where the dart is, and add some to this side so that it is there. Those are the major things with the bodice. We still haven't finished like where the zipper is because I don't really know how much I'm going to cut off, so I don't really feel like sewing that all the way to the bottom when I know I'm going to cut some of it off, so I'm not gonna. It does go to the left. So that is a problem that we have with it when I wear it. We still need to cut this up. Actually, pretty upset to cut this one up because it cost me $7. Did I mention that? That's a lot for a thrift store shirt. Probably we should measure. Let's do that. Let's measure. So here's our gown that it's going over. And what we'll do is we'll just measure what this is. We'll add like an inch aside from the seam allowance so that we know it will go over it. And we shouldn't have to worry about front and back because it's going to be all one piece. Did you want to see what I'm doing? Okay, well, come on. Right here. Don't be shy. Come on. There. Isn't that better? I am just going to cut it so we save time and keep the gather at the top. So this is what I did with reckless abandon. I just kind of cut it. Yeah, this is where the seam is, so this is where we'd need to add fabric. And we have 14, so we need to add 6 inches. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this off rather than seam rip because seam ripping takes too much time and we don't need this anyway. I did a thing. I did it almost entirely off camera because I was pretty sure it wasn't going to work. I see. Now, it did end up being a bit long, and this is just tied. And I guess, since it worked, I'll show you how I did it on the other one. Okay, and then I cut myself a piece of elastic. I don't think it's any secret that I am prone to biting off more than I can chew. So here we are, and it is the last day that I have to finish this project. Not before the play. I have plenty of time before the play, but I am using this for my next video, and that is due out the 12th? Yes, the 12th. February 12th, and it is February 6th. And if I want to have time to edit this, then I need to finish it today in its entirety. And it is now 11:27. Here's what we gotta do. We have our bodice. We need some bias tape around this part of the bodice. We need the sleeves to be cut off or folded in. Doesn't really matter which, but one of them's got to be done. And we need these sleeves to be sewn on. Then we need to do something with the skirt because we haven't done anything with the skirt. We also need to sew this to the skirt. It probably needs a hook and eye closure at the top. I guess the first thing we should do is the sleeves of this. And they made it extra hard for me because it's one piece for the sleeve. Like you're not just unpicking a seam. The sleeve is one piece. But I think I'm going to use this bias tape from the sleeve to accommodate this side here that's missing bias tape. We also need to do something about this part that has bias tape that shouldn't have bias tape because it's going to be too bulky. But that is so secondary, I might leave that till last. It's not a priority. So the first thing we'll do is we'll unpick this bias tape and get this sewn up so that it isn't, because it's fraying pretty badly and I don't want to lose any inches. Okay. They match up pretty well. This honestly, it's going to be wonky anyway because I made 2 sleeves for the same side, and I did that last time too. I don't know what my problem is. To sew the sleeves on, you kind of do it funny, and I did the one off camera to make sure I was doing it right. You put the sleeve the right way inside the bodice the wrong way, and then you sew along that edge. And when you're done, it flips out and it's the correct way. Okay. So, how did I just explain that that works? Okay. That actually turned out really well, considering. Bodice. So this is going to go over that. One sleeve is definitely, closer in than the other. They're not even at all. It's almost like I didn't measure it. Right? Yeah, that's really noticeable. I need to stop making so many shortcuts and being like, oh, it's okay, it's just a costume, nobody will notice, because that's noticeable. That's pretty bad. Alright. So, after a couple small existential crises, I think I have it figured out here. I'm going to make a circle skirt, which because it's so long, I have to make 2 half circle skirts, sew them together. Yeah, no, okay. No, stop doing it, no! But I do it. I'll just go ahead and I didn't film a lot of this, and probably I'll regret that later, but I'm on a time constraint. But I did want to share with you that I did fix the top so it fits a little bit better. The sides of the top look awful, right at the seam there, like you see that. You don't even need to go up close to see how wonky that is. And this one, I snipped too much and there wasn't enough to go over top of it. But we do what we gotta do, right? So I have the skirt and the bodice. And now it's time to make them one. So I got all done editing this video, and I never filmed an outro. So here it is. Just real quick, this was a very big project for me, and I'm not really happy with how it turned out, but it did the job, and I was very happy with the play, and my part in the play was a lot of fun. If you've ever considered being in community theater, it's a lot of fun, and you should definitely give it a try. I think from now on I'm going to try and scale it back, get back down on a beginner level, stop trying to make my own patterns, and just kind of do my own thing without any real plan, because it takes too long, and it also takes a long time to edit. I made so many mistakes that I just left out of the video because it would have been way too long, and you don't care. So I'm gonna kind of get back down on my level, start where a beginner should start, kind of get those fundamental core skill sets down before I try and tackle a big project like this. I'm also trying to get better about how I film things and my filming to editing time with this one, because I was in the play. The time I filmed it, the time I started editing it, there was a gap, so I didn't really remember everything I did because I don't always talk. So I'm watching it and I'm wondering, what am I even doing? And now we're in May. So it's May 1st. I do believe you will see this today because it is all done. I just have to add this to it and add some music and send it out there. So thank you once again for being patient with me. I typically do aesthetic sewing content, and I have a lot of great stuff planned. So please stick around, subscribe, like this video if you liked this video, and if you didn't like this video, I'm sorry. I'll try better. Until next time. Hello, mister. How are you? Yeah. Come to see mommy work. And I put all my fabric on my thread scraps, so it's gonna be all messy. Yep. That happened. How is there so much dog hair on this already? Like, I just got it. I just got it. Yeah. You know, this whole time I've been filming, I never thought about the fact that you can probably hear my boyfriend downstairs playing his game with his friends. I'm filming the scene rip, and do I need to do that? No. Will I be mad about it later? Probably. Just a scene ripping girl in a scene ripping world.